Well, look, you've had your injury problems this season, but look, the last 7 matches. How delighted are you, first and foremost, to be playing regularly, and a lot of fans say playing very well as well.
Yeah, delighted. Obviously, it has been a big thing attached to me is being fit. So yeah, delighted that hopefully it stays the same. Again, some of it's in my control, some of it's not. So wishing for good luck from now to the end of the season for not just me, for the rest of the boys staying healthy as well.
Well, indeed. So you deserve it. When it comes to sort of recovery from injuries, clearly there are impact injuries. You don't know what's going to happen on any match day, etc. But is it, one problem leads to another, which leads to a delay, which leads to not training, and it just takes time?
Yeah, it's very specific, obviously, to yourself in terms of the injury that you receive. So the last 2 that I've had have both been kind of like trauma injuries with my knee and my foot, where it's a lot of it's waiting for healing and kind of slowly reintroducing stuff. Whereas with kind of muscle injuries where you get a wee hamstring or whatever, you can be quite aggressive with it, and it also depends on the person as well. Some people, it depends on how many injuries you've had and what age you are and stuff like that. So again, Dave's very good, so is Lou as well. They've done a terrific job this year in terms of when we have had little knocks or big injuries as well. They've got the boys back as quick as they can.
Because you are a young lad, does that make it perhaps easier then to have a recovery plan?
Yeah, I guess you could say so. Yeah, there's not too much scarring there maybe as much in terms of having loads of injuries, but it's also frustrating at the same time because you feel that it's eating into your time as a young pro, and you can get valuable game time and experience. So it works both ways, I think. Injuries at the end of the day are frustrating for everyone, regardless of what age.
Last one on this, because you're obviously playing very well right now. But are you better at coping? Because no footballer doesn't want to play. So are you better at coping with time on the sidelines then now?
I would probably say it's it's got worse. I think with my first injury a couple of years ago, I was maybe thankful, maybe almost for a break from the games. But now, no, especially the last one is jumping at the bit to get back almost as soon as I can, which all the lads are like. So it's probably actually got worse with the more injuries I've had.
As you've come back into the team, clearly you've got yourselves into second place right now. So how much is it about almost putting your foot down, really, after a period of time where it was a bit indifferent results wise, and just kind of putting your hammer down, as it were, and cracking on?
Yeah, it's something that obviously the gaffer spoke about quite a lot, and was really frustrated probably with over the last few months, that you're talking about us being in the pack. We want to obviously try and pull away from that. We're a long way away from doing that now still, but as you say, yeah, 3 wins in the league in a row is obviously a good way to go about it. So yeah, it's all just about keeping up that kind of momentum, and as you say, one game at a time though. Like we did last season when we put together a fantastic run, it was always just looking ahead to the next game.
Well, you see, this is kind of part of it, because when the manager was talking about the 18-game table or list that you were ticking off as you were racking up the wins last season, so I'm almost kind of minded to ask, is there something similar now as you try and hunt Walsall down?
No, there's not been anything mentioned. I think we've got 19 games left. Is there 18 left? I don't know. So maybe that will become a thing pretty soon. But no, there's no such league table as now. Again, as I said, one game at a time right now.
You've had some pretty physical tests recently as a group, haven't you? But MK Dons are noted for being more of a footballing side, no less of a challenge, but a footballing team. Is that almost better for Doncaster Rovers because you're perhaps in the same bracket they are?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a different style of game to the last couple where you compare Barrow and Harrogate. They're very different sides. Still though, the basics of League 2 football are winning your duels, whether that's aerial or probably more tomorrow it will be on the floor. But it's still the same in terms of your intensity of getting to the ball. But as you say, yes, obviously they'll play a different way, and we'll be ready for that and set up probably a wee bit differently to what we have in the last few games.
We're talking about, well, maybe catching Walsall and the pack. What's your take on the fact that pack actually is quite enormous, isn't it? Again, in League Two, that only a handful of points down to maybe 8th separate quite a few teams.
Yeah, I think, it's always been the nature of this league is that it is very, very close together. Probably more so than any since I've been here this year that it's been really that close. But as I said, it's 28 games in, so no prizes are given out at 28th game, as we well know at this club anyway. So again, everyone gets overly anxious about the league table and where you are with 20 games to go or whatever. It's irrelevant really. It's all about where you are at game 46.
And just finally then, can you look at last year, and obviously not coming from where you were in the table, because nobody really expected Doncaster Rovers to be there in the first place, but just that there are a lot of players within this group that over 3 months can be very highly consistent.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can look back and take that, but it's a different squad, it's a different league this year. So we can't keep on harping back and looking back to 12 months ago, because it's an entirely different situation. But of course, those boys who played in that team who are playing now, and we can give little messages and also that kind of feel around the group of, right, we know what we need to do to kind of replicate that kind of run.